you. And welcome. Thank you for coming today, even though, one second, even though it's a beautiful sakura. So I'm glad you are here. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Okay, great. As my wonderful students introduced me, I'm Tiina. Nice to meet you all and nice to see you all here. I'm one of the teachers of ELA program, English for Liberal Arts program here at ICU. And today I'm going to give an introduction to our program. I'll tell you a little bit about our program and about what we do. So today's goals, we have 45 minutes. We are going to experience the ELA interactively. You know what interactively means? Interactively? In our classes, teacher doesn't talk as much as students do. So today I'm also going to ask you to talk to each other and not only to listen to me. Okay? And today's goals, I would like you to understand what is the ELA, what is critical thinking, because critical thinking is an important part of our program. We want you to learn to become critical thinkers. Why is it important? Why is critical thinking important? And how can you develop your critical thinking skills? And then there will be a question-answer time. So please, after this lecture, please feel free to ask any questions you have about our program, about our university, about me, you know. Our students and I will be happy to answer. All right. So let's begin with a discussion, because, like I said, in our classroom, teacher doesn't do all the talking. So I'm going to ask you to be active participants from the beginning. I have a 3-minute discussion for you. I would like you to find 1 or 2 students or parents around you, whoever wants to participate, and I would like you to ask your neighbor 3 questions. Hi, where did you come from today? What do you want to know about the ELA? And to you, what does critical thinking mean? Okay, so I will give you 3 minutes. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Wow, you are wonderful students. Thank you. This is what I like to see and hear, yeah? Students talking. Great. Thank you very much. All right, so today we are hopefully going to answer. Well, I am going to give you an answer, hopefully, to questions 2 and 3, at least from my perspective, okay? So that's what we're going to go on. So first, let's talk about ELA program. What is the ELA? English for Liberal Arts, okay? Which all first-year students at our school participate in. Academic English for Liberal Arts. That's what our program is all about. So, our aim is to teach our students how to think, research, communicate, and collaborate. You know what all those words mean? Yes? Thinking, researching, communicating with others, and collaborating with others. Why do we think these skills are important? Because they go beyond university. These are the important skills that you need in life, okay? And, you know, university should be more than just learning content. We should learn skills. We believe that at university we should learn skills that then we can use in life, that will help us in life, whether at our job, with our families, with our friends, with any community activities that we do. So these are the 4 skills that we really stress in our program. Okay? ELA is required from all 1st and 2nd year students. Okay? You will be studying English. Well, you'll be studying in our program about 8 to 12 hours per week, only in English. How wonderful! Yes. How wonderful. For me, as maybe you heard when Sari was introducing me, she told you that I come from Finland. So for me, English is not my first language. English is my third language. Yes. So I know I have been through the same kind of education that we have here at ICU, where I learned English through a liberal arts program, through content, and it worked for me. That's why doing it intensively, using English and learning in English every day is very important, and that's what our program does. Okay? And you will have supportive, qualified instructors. All of the teachers that you have are qualified to teach English as a foreign language. Plus, we have an amazing range of teachers who have different areas of expertise. So in the ELA, you will not only learn English, but you will also learn many subjects, because we have teachers who specialize in many different fields. And after this lecture, if you want, we have put some posters up here. And one of the posters, the black one by the window, introduces all the teachers in our program. So if you want to take a look after the lecture or come back, you can get to know all of our teachers there. All right? Okay, so that is ELA. And here we have, I just wanted to put a photo of a class. They're sitting outside, under a tree. We are very lucky to have a beautiful campus. Okay, we have a beautiful, beautiful campus. So you will, if you come here when the weather is nice, you will see many classes conducted outside. When the weather is nice, I like to take my students outside and ask them to do their work outside in a comfortable, relaxing atmosphere. And most of the time they do okay. Sometimes they get distracted by the good weather. But I have a way to deal with it. So, but many teachers do this. And it really helps in building a community, you know? Each class is a community. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what our ELA class is like, just some basic information. In the ELA, we study what we call sections. Each section is made up of about 20 students, and students take most of their ELA classes with the same section. So they take most of their ELA classes with the same friends. Supportive community, mainly discussions, tutorials with teachers. Here's another photo of a classroom where students are working in groups. In our ELA classes, maybe 80% of the time students are working in groups. Whatever we're working on, your peers, your classmates, are going to be just as important and helpful as your teacher. You can learn many things from your classmates, so that's the kind of the way that we conduct our classes. And another important thing about our program is what is called tutorials with teachers. In our program, we do lots of writing, okay? Because writing is an important skill, especially when we're learning critical thinking and doing research and thinking. So we have also what is called tutorials with teachers. So each class, in addition to meeting in the classroom with everyone, you have one-on-one tutorials with your teacher, which is very important for writing, because in order to respond to student writing appropriately, sometimes, you know, teacher cannot. With writing, everyone has different problems and different strengths and weaknesses. So the best way a teacher can give you feedback for writing is when it's one-on-one. So we have, for all of our main courses, we have tutorials attached. So there's a designated time in your timetable when you have one-on-one meetings with your teacher. And often students find these to be most helpful when it comes to help with their writing. That's a very important part of our program. We do have big lectures like this for first-year students in ELA once a week. Once a week we have a big lecture, because it's also an important academic skill to learn to listen to big lectures, take notes, and learn to take tests based on that. So we do have what we call lectures for liberal arts. So you will be taking this kind of big lecture in English at least once a week. Okay? in our program. All right? Okay, let's move on. Now, I think that's enough introduction to, let's see if my thing is working. Come on now. Okay, so that's just a brief introduction to ELA, and now I'd like to move on to critical thinking. Because critical thinking is such a big part of our program. So today I'd like to try to answer these 3 questions. Why? What is it? What is critical thinking? Why is it important, and how can you develop it? Okay? But before I begin, I have a question for you. Well, I have a little task for you. There's a photo of a tiger. Can you see it? Can everybody see? Okay. So there's a photo of a tiger. But there's also a hidden tiger in that photo. Can you find the hidden tiger in the picture? I'm going to turn off the lights from here. The question is, I will give you 1 minute to look at the photo. Can you find the hidden tiger in the picture? Can you find the hidden tiger in the picture? Turn off the lights just for this. Oh, I hate these kinds of things. Can anybody find it? Anybody? If you find it, please tell me. Yes?
I'm not sure.
Yes?
Right, 2 eyes. No. Right side of the.
Right side of the tiger?
The 2 eyes and 1 nose. Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Just right.
Here.
No, just right.
2 more right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Here.
No. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Actually, I don't know, that may be a tiger too. But no, that's not what I'm thinking of. But that's actually somebody gave the same answer before. Anybody else? Yes?
There's a word that's hidden tiger.
Ding ding, yes. The hidden tiger is written with the tiger stripes. Can you see? The hidden tiger. Can you see? So the stripes of the tiger spell out the hidden tiger. Can everybody see? The hidden tiger. Yeah? Now, maybe you say, that was a trick question. Yeah? But actually, it's not necessarily a trick question, but it's a little introduction to one of the most important things about critical thinking is looking beyond the obvious. So when I told you, can you find the hidden tiger, maybe you were looking for a tiger, the animal, right? So this is one aspect of critical thinking, and this is where I'm going to ask you my second question. What I call this is looking beyond the surface. Surface means kind of the top, yeah? Looking beyond the obvious. So when we think of tiger, we think of the animal shape, right? But I was actually referring to the written words, the hidden tiger. So with critical thinking, we believe this is very important. Oops. So I would like to ask you this question. What does it mean to look beyond the surface? To look beyond the obvious? Can you talk with your neighbor for 1 minute? What does this mean? Think about the tiger example. Dozo, I'll give you 1 minute. You can talk with your neighbor. So this is kind of one of the reasons why, well, one of the basic assumptions about critical thinking is that we should always look look beyond the obvious, look deeper. Okay? Look deeper. And this is what we try to do with critical thinking. So, what I'm going to do next is I'll just give you our definition of critical thinking. What is it? We use this definition. There are many definitions for critical thinking, but we use this one. The systematic process of examining beliefs or facts to see if they are based on good reasons or evidence. For example, Japan needs nuclear energy. It's easy to come up with statements to say, I think Japan needs nuclear energy. Well, why? Okay? It's important to ask the question, really? Why do you think so? Do you have good reasons to support your belief? Okay? And this is something that people are not born with. We're not born with these ideas. Okay? That's why we really spend a lot of time on teaching students how to do this, because it's like any skill. You can only learn it, and you can only become better at it if you practice it. So that's why we spend a lot of time in our classes doing this. So maybe, for example, yeah, we can't survive without it. Is it a good reason? No. So we need to have valid reasons, and that's where research comes in. Okay? That's another important thing. We need to be educated, and we need to do research to find good reasons for our beliefs, so that then we can express these beliefs with good support for our ideas. And this is what we do in our program. Before this lecture started, I was talking with my students who are here helping me, and one of them had just taken a test, interview test, and he told me, oh yeah, the student, the interviewer asked me, do you think Japanese people are polite? And I said, well, I answered, well, yeah, I think so. And then he said, then the attack started. The interviewer said, why do you think so? So students, he called it attack. So when you first come to ELA classes, maybe your teachers will always ask you, why? Why? And you think, oh no, not again. But this is what we do with critical thinking, yeah? So you gotta get used to it if you come to ELA. And here's another definition for critical thinking from our textbook that we use. Do not accept anything unless you have thought it through for yourself, unless you understand the reasons, and unless they seem to be good reasons. So again, critical thinking is very personal. You know, we have different beliefs, we have different opinions, that's fine. But you need to be able to also personally agree with your opinion or your belief, okay? So you have thought about it for yourself, you understand the reasons, and they seem to be good reasons to you, okay? So this is what we call critical thinking. Why is critical thinking important? Well, maybe these are two of the important reasons. Why is critical thinking important? To be free from blind or irrational beliefs. And you know, I'm using an example from the history. Germany is superior. Why? Do we have good reasons for this? Okay. Now maybe if you're German, maybe you think this. But this is what I mean by blind, irrational beliefs. And also, to reach reasonable agreement with others. In life, you need to discuss and you need to debate with people. So in order to come across as an educated, as a kind of independent thinker, you need to have good reasons for your beliefs. Okay? Otherwise, you will not necessarily succeed so well in life. Yeah? So let's do some critical thinking. This is a very simple steps of how to critically think about something. To develop critical thinking, ask why. Is the belief based on good reasons? What are my reasons for this belief? Analyze your own beliefs and consider the opposite view. This is always important. we always need to think about the opposite view as well. And kind of, okay, well, what is the opposite view? But even if the opposite view, has good enough reasons, your reason still may be better for you. But it's important that you consider the opposite view before you make up your mind about something. So this is kind of very easy steps on how to do critical thinking. So now we are going to do a little bit of critical thinking. I have a question for you. 3-minute discussion. I'd like you to talk again, find somebody around you, and I would like you to do some critical thinking. I believe, maybe this is my belief. It is better to go to college than not to go to college. Why? This is a belief that we're going to think about critically. Well, agree or disagree? Why? Are those good reasons? What are the opposing reasons? So, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Can you find somebody? Can you find somebody and ask your partner about this statement? Go ahead. Because we have such a big group, because we have a short time, I'm not going to ask you to give me your answers, but I will just show, for example, some examples of what you could be saying when you talk to a friend. The reason why this is important is sometimes, for example, we have some beliefs, but we never examine them. We never think about, well, why do I believe this? Okay? And maybe we don't think about the opposing reasons. And sometimes this often happens in our classes. Students come in to class with a belief, then they learn more about something, they examine their beliefs, and sometimes they change, their belief. So this is why it's very important to examine our beliefs. This often happens when students are writing essays. I have students who begin writing an essay about, okay, Japan should not have death penalty. Then when they start doing research, they start writing, they come to me a month later and they say, oh, Tiina, I completely changed my opinion. That's fine. That's what that's why we do critical thinking, to see if we actually agree with the beliefs that we have. So for example, maybe in my opinion, examine, better to go to college. I agree. That would be maybe a question to first, answer to first question. I think going to college is important because we need time and an environment to develop a career goal and skills. Are these good enough reasons? Well, I think they are good reasons to me because, and I could explain more about why, but for me those are good reasons. But then I have to think about the other side. It's expensive to go to college. Some of the things that we do in college we could do at home by ourselves, with the book, with the internet these days, right? Oh, but I can learn more on the job. If I get a job, I'm going to learn more important skills. A technical school is more practical, okay? Use the money and just travel the world. That's a better experience, right? Well, So, before we really make up our mind, it's important to consider the other side. Now, from my personal experience, I would still say college is more important because from my personal experience, from what I've learned through college and what I've seen my students learn, I've been a teacher for 15 years. What I've seen that students learn in college, that's important to me. So this is kind of what we do when we critically think about something. Okay? So, we're going to do our last discussion because I know it's a little bit hot here. So we're going to do, now that you know how to critically think about something, I'm going to give you other beliefs to examine. Okay, here's just some examples. Parents should pay for their children's college. The USA should leave Iraq. This is a, all Japanese children should study English. Human cloning should be banned. Do you know what cloning is? Yeah, cloning, like Dolly the sheep. Yeah. Global warming can be stopped by human effort. So I have several beliefs here, but just because we are here as a big group, and because this is kind of my field, I'm gonna have you examine an important belief that deals with Japan. All Japanese children should study English. So this is your last 3-minute discussion. Please find your partner again and do the same thing you did with the previous statement. This is my belief. Now examine this belief. Do you agree, disagree? Do you have, what are the reasons? Are they good reasons? And what is the opposing opinions? Okay, go ahead. Okay, so maybe this is very important, very kind of a current, important topic in Japan. Maybe it's important, it's always important for us to think about issues that deal with also our environment to see what do we think about it, okay? I'm not going to ask you what you think. There's no right or wrong opinion, of course. Some of you maybe think they agree with this, and some of you maybe disagree with it, and that's fine. But having good reasons for your opinion is the most important thing, all right? Okay, so we're almost done today, so I'll just give you a little summary of what we've done today. Okay, ELA, English for Liberal Arts, intensive training in how to think and communicate in English. So actually, one other thing I just want to stress about our English program is it will be very different than what you're used to, because we don't study English grammar or English, we don't study English as a language. We use English to study content, okay? So this is, many people believe, myself included, that this is the best way to study English. So you're learning English through content. Critical thinking, why? Avoid false beliefs and to reach reasonable agreements. Okay, so this is what we talked about today. Ask, is this true? Why? For important beliefs and facts. In the ELA you will have to do this for maybe every belief you have. Your teachers are going to ask you to tell us, why do you believe something? Why do you think something? Because we believe that this is the most important thing for you that you can learn during college. All right? I'm stuck. Okay. So I'm going to say just a few more things before I finish. But the other thing I just wanted to tell you, I have lots of materials here if you want to look at these after the lecture. But just to give you an idea of the kinds of topics that we in first year ELA. For example, I mentioned cloning. So in our first year ELA, we have kind of 3 major topics that we learn about. The first one is education. We talk about what is education, why is education important, okay? And you can look at these books later if you want. So we talk about education first, and then we talk about, well, this is not really a topic, so I'm going to skip that, okay? The second topic is culture and communication, okay? Culture, perception, and communication. And the third one is bioethics. Bioethics. Students were not happy with that, but actually, after the semester, they were like, wow, we learned so much. So these are the 3 kind of major topics that we learned through in the first year, okay? So since I think we're out of time, so please, if you have any questions, please feel free to stay and ask. And thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you